Lucky here, and welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Cuisinart. Today, we've got some pickups. Now, I think I said in the other video that it's been kind of a weird couple of weeks for me. The store that I go to get my comic books, Hastings, shut down to move to another location. They took way too long to get their store back up and running. So I've had to kind of like grab comic books where I could. I've ordered a couple of them. When they finally got the store back opened, I went in there and picked up, but it's kind of too late on some of it. I've been in a mad scramble trying to pick up things. It's just been weird. I almost missed out on this one. That would be Wonder Woman, The Legend of Wonder Woman #3. Now, anybody else reading this series? Because it's pretty good. It really is. If I had one complaint, this is only going to be a 7-issue run from what I understand. So if I had one little complaint, it would be that I think they should have stretched this series out, because it's good enough as it is. You could have easily you could have made this a 1-year comic book. You could have done 12 issues, because it feels like it's... I kind of like I want to know about the old stuff. I want to know about her legend, where she comes from, her growing up years. They start her off as a child, but by issue 3, it's moving quick enough that she's definitely growing up faster. So I kind of wish they would have slowed the process down a little bit. I think in this one, I haven't gotten to read the whole thing yet. They've introduced Steve Trevor, but there is one thing I did really like, and it's one of these kind of... a lot of people comment about this, you know, when they see her in the movie now and from trailers and commercials of other stuff, that she's an Amazon. Well, they did that one thing. They took great care that she's an Amazon, and in this issue you can see, you know, it's not dramatic crazy, but look how much taller than Steve Trevor she is. You know, they didn't get super crazy with the whole Amazonian thing. She's not 7'5" or whatever, but she's taller than Trevor, and you know, they're making him out to be a regular Joe. So you know, he's probably 5'8"ish, maybe 6 foot. So she's well into the 6 foot range from the way they're making it look in the comic book. I appreciate that. That's really cool. They did a really good job with it. Yeah, issue #3's out. Next up, we have Green Lantern, Edge of Oblivion. Edge of Oblivion. Can't say I'm too crazy about this series. Again, I said it in the other episode. I cannot talk today. I said it in the other episode that with the new DC Rebirth coming up, there's going to be dramatic changes. So, you know, I think this is, again, going from the Green Lantern, Edge of Oblivion. It's only a 6-issue run. It doesn't matter. They're going to probably just wipe the board with this, because they've already announced Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, or I think they're just called the Green Lanterns. I'm not sure. They've announced something with the new Green Lantern starting with the Rebirth. So this, I got to tell you guys, this probably isn't worth it anymore. It's going absolutely nowhere. Again, it's the 6-issue run. I don't know what they're going to lead up to, but all other comic books, I think, that are in their 50s right now, the primary core DC characters, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, blah blah blah, they're all going to end at 52, I believe, is what they said at the DC Live Rebirth big extravaganza and musical number. It's all ending at 52 for them, and then they launch into Rebirth. So, you know, I just kind of don't think that this Green Lantern story is worth it anymore. You know, why shell out money? It's just absolutely going nowhere, and it's not really even all that good. But that's just me. Okay, haven't gotten to read this one yet, but if I had to say, I know I'm going to love it anyway, but if I had to say that this was probably one of my favorite covers in comic book history, I don't think that would be a stretch. This cover is phenomenal, man. It is just so cool looking. You got Doc's body. He's got roots coming out of him, and the old the sanctuary up there is on fire. I don't know why it just gravitates with me, man. It is such an awesome cover. It really, really is beautiful. Doctor Strange is doing me no wrong at all. It's a good story so far. We're into issue 6. Something weird going to happen though. I don't know what they're going to do with it. This apparently this issue kicks off something else. Doctor Strange starts says now the last days of magic. So I was looking up some Doctor Strange stuff on my comic shop, and they're advertising something else. It's called The Last Days of Magic. So I don't know what's the premise here. If any of you know, let me know. Comments below. If you've read anything into it, something else going to happen? Are they going to continue with Doctor Strange as Doctor Strange this comic book series, or are they morphing it into something else, or is he just actually going to get another comic book series? Because, well, he has a movie coming up in a couple months, guys. So, by the way, any of you guys out there that make toys, you work for the toy companies, do me a favor. Call me, whatever. Let's get some more toys out there. Seriously, I've got literally 2 Doctor Strange toys that I've seen anywhere lately. You guys got a movie coming out in a couple months. Let's get on the ball with getting out the merch, man, because Daddy needs some Doctor Strange toys. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm passionate, what can I say? Okay, so last one that I've picked up recently. You know, this is still very good. I don't know. I'm hoping that they don't get completely demolished. I don't know how successful this is. I haven't heard. You know, I watched the DC Rebirth live song number extravaganza that they had the other day. You know, this thing was 2 hours long, and I watched most of it. You kind of got to catch things where you can. Sometimes you don't have just 2 straight hours to sit down and watch people babble about comic books like I'm doing right now. But my shows aren't 2 hours long. The thing, I didn't hear any mention of this comic book series at all. Earth 2 Society, to me, is really good. I think everybody should be, that's into Justice League stuff, should be reading this because the art is spectacular. The story is really good. I'm going to keep collecting it until they tell me I can't anymore. But there's so much stuff coming with this Rebirth that I don't even know where to begin, guys. They're going to do a Wonder Woman Year 1, that kind of a storyline, you know. Everybody has to have a year 1. I guess it's mandatory if you're one of the big ones in the DC universe. You have to have a year 1 kind of story arc, which is fine. I'm completely fine with something like that. I think that would be a really good one. You know, they're going to play it up because the Wonder Woman movie is going to be coming out soon. There's just so much stuff going into this Rebirth, and I haven't even started to scratch the surface of at least just the parts of it that I watched on the internet the other day of what all they're going to do. The core characters, like I said, they're stopping, I think, at 52 because that's the magic number for everything in the last couple of years is the 52. So they're stopping all that, and they're getting rid of some stuff. They're bringing some stuff in that I'm not saying it's bad. You know, like Blue Beetle, nothing wrong with that. You know, bring in some off-the-wall type characters that don't get that much press, so to speak. You know, because let's face it, Marvel is really kicking their ass with some of these off-the-wall, you know, characters. And I read a write-up the other day, somebody else, you know, I kind of agree with this idea that you know, Marvel has got a lineup from hell. It's not good. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I never got into a ton of the Marvel characters. I'm not a huge Marvel fan. I have my staples that I absolutely love, and I will keep reading when they're out. But, you know, Marvel just has such an amazing lineup of characters that you can throw out there that everybody would be able to read something, you know, from the most B-line characters, like, you know, a good example, I guess, would be Squirrel Girl. You know, can you imagine Squirrel Girl getting her own movie? But she has comic book stuff going on, and she's got a loyal following of people. You know, I don't hear much about Blue Beetle. I think he's probably been brought more back into the mainstream because of the Young Justice cartoon, maybe. Because I've got nothing but DC comic books lying around me in stacks, and I haven't got Blue Beetle in one of them. So it's just one of those things that I would probably be more inclined to read if they would bring more stuff like that into the DC mainstream. But DC has kept it pretty steady with their comic books. It's only the strong survive, and in their situation, only the most popular. Well, I think from them moving around and having TV shows and things like that, you know, characters that weren't as popular a couple of years ago are now becoming more popular into the mainstream. People are looking at them going, you know, well, this character's got their own TV show. You know, Vixen, perfect example. Off the wall, out of nowhere, Vixen. Vixen is a really cool character. I absolutely love Vixen. I hope she gets her own TV show. She's an off-the-wall character, though, that's been around for a long time, but never had a mainstay run. And now we've got her being thrown in the mainstream where she's been in the Justice League cartoons, a little bit of attention brought to her, but now they brought her out in more recent cartoon, the 11-minute shorts that they did for the CW, which brought everybody from the Arrowverse and the other ones together to do voice acting. And now she's had a cameo appearance on Arrow, so, you know, things like that. I think they have a plan. It's just going the long way around. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I will catch you on the next episode. You guys have a good one.